some healthy snacks? Like, let's get to something super practical here. Like, what are 5 to 10 things people should just be going out and buying? Like, I tell people all the time when I'm coaching them, it's like, look, I mean, left to our own devices, you know, we're not, that strong in our willpower. So in my
Yeah.
mind, a part of eating healthy is shopping right and knowing your limitations, having the things in your desk drawer at the office and your refrigerator at the office that are only going to be supportive of a healthy lifestyle. Same thing with your house. Kind of my formula
Yeah.
has been for a very long time that when I'm at home, which is also where I work, I eat healthy. And I only have healthy things in my house. Maybe the most unhealthy thing I have in my house right now is like popcorn. Uh, but but other than that, like I don't have like cookies and shit like that. I mean, I've got dried fruit, I've got nuts, I've got fresh fruit, that kind of stuff if I have a sweet craving. And then when I go out and am in, Mexico with Ben Greenfield, I'll eat, a coconut popsicle or have a gelato with him in the
Yeah.
afternoon in Florence like we did this last July. But I mean, I cheat when I'm out, and most of the time I'm not out. So I know that I've got that kind of built into my system, is that when I'm at home, I'm going to eat healthy. What are some healthy snacks that
Yeah.
you suggest people have in their drawers?
Yeah, for sure. You keep making me sound like Satan with that ice cream and gelato and the tempting popsicle. It
Yeah.
is kind of funny because you asked this question, but like despite what you've witnessed when hanging out with me in foreign countries when I'm on vacation, rarely, if ever, snack when I'm actually at home. Yeah, if I'm out in the hot Mexican sun, I'll get a coconut popsicle or I'll have a gelato on a blazing day in Italy. But for the most part, when I'm at home, I actually don't snack. And if you would have asked that question to a lot of folks, there are certain things that if you did want to snack would be better to snack on, like things that don't spike the blood sugar, which we established earlier is a great way to kind of poop out your pancreas a little bit early. So this would be like seeds and nuts, but not the kind that you buy in the bag at the gas station. If you look at the label, are feather dusted with cane sugar and soaked in canola oil, right? Just like natural. Like there's one company called they're a macadamia company. They've been advertising on some podcasts recently. They even advertised on my podcast now, House of Macadamia. So they've got like macadamia nuts with different coatings on them that are healthy, and little macadamia snacks and macadamia nut bars. I'm a big fan of Brazil nuts, raw almonds, roasted pumpkin seeds. Things like seeds and nuts are pretty glycemically stabilizing, especially if they don't have the M&Ms and the chocolate chips stirred in the same way that popcorn isn't that bad unless you're like my mom and you put butterscotch chips and M&Ms in your popcorn. But yeah, nuts and seeds are a good one. I'm a fan of a lot of these higher fat snacks like sliced avocado with a little bit of olive oil and sea salt, handful of olives either with the avocados or with the nuts. I'm a fan of very, very pure, clean, dark chocolate, like 90 to 100% dark chocolate, just because it has a lot of vasodilatory properties and blood flow enhancing properties. And then there are a lot of bars out there that, even though I'm not a big fan of eating out of packages and eating a lot of food that's processed, you want to look for bars with all clean ingredients like chia seeds, almonds, coconut flakes, macadamia nuts, etc. And so if I were going to snack, I would basically be choosing the higher fat type of items that are more glycemically stabilizing. However, one of the reasons I rarely snack anymore is because of that whole concept of ketosis that I talked with you about earlier, and the advent or availability now of the same type of ketone esters, like liquid drinkable ketones, that were formerly only available to like professional athletes like Tour de France cyclists, or used in the military for research for allowing soldiers to go for long periods of time without calorie intake. And so if I do know I got to go for a long period of time without eating, and there is a situation which I'll probably get hungry, I've got basically 4 things that I do. I'll drink some ketone esters, which are a liquid drinkable ketone that shifts your body into the same metabolic state as it would be if you'd fasted for 2 or 3 days as far as your ketone availability. And like I'll have one of those before an airplane flight and just like not think about food at all for 6 to 8 hours. So ketones, liquid drinkable ketones.
Does it wipe out your appetite?
Yeah, I mean, not as much as like Ozempic or one of these new weight loss peptides. I'm not a big fan of those because you can sometimes get some lean mass, muscle tissue loss. But yeah, you're not hungry like that, and it's not because you're nauseous. You're just like, they're just providing such a great stable source of fuel to your brain and your liver and your heart and your diaphragm that it's extremely efficacious. So I'm a huge fan of the ketone esters. There are companies like HVMN that make one called Ketone IQ. There's the company Ketone Aid. They make another one called K1 and one called K4. So ketone esters would be the first. The second thing that I do are amino acids. I use essential amino acids because slow dosing essential amino acids throughout the day, not branch chain amino acids, which spike the blood glucose, but essential amino acids, which are taken up into the muscle and used to help stabilize or build or maintain muscle. I'll do about a 5-gram scoop of amino acids powder, essential amino acids powder, either straight into my mouth or in water 4 to 5 times a day. So my amino acid levels are staying elevated, but there's barely any calories in amino acids. They're just muscle building blocks. So that's number 2. I'll use ketones, I'll use amino acids, and then the last 2 are anything sparkling. So I like this company Zevia. I got a whole garage full of Zevia, which is like stevia flavored soda in a lot of your favorite flavors like Dr. Pepper or root beer or Coke, but it's not sugar, it's stevia. And so they're pretty healthy. Or sparkling water. And sometimes I'll put a little bit of essential oil like peppermint, which is a natural appetite suppressant, into my sparkling water. And the reason I do that is I find that the bubbles help to keep me a little bit full and keep me from snacking. So there's ketones, essential amino acids, sparkling water, sometimes with something added to it, or Zevia flavored soda or stevia flavored soda. And then the last one is some type of gum. There's another guy named Mark Bell. He has a product called fasting gum, which is gum that's dusted with just a little bit of caffeine and some natural appetite suppressants. There's another one from Greece called mastic gum. And then there's a company called Lucy that makes nicotine gum. And most of the time, I'm like chomping on a piece of that, sucking on some sparkling water, and then dosing occasionally with the ketone esters and the amino acids. And that's kind of like, that's the more advanced guide to healthy snacking that a lot of people aren't talking about. But that's kind of the route I go because it allows me to not have to stop and think about eating, not have to eat in a stress state like when I'm working, which can limit nutrient uptake, and also just not really have to fuss around looking at a bunch of labels and figuring what has canola oil in it. I just have these standby snacks. Most of those are portable, or you can find them at grocery stores like sparkling water or gum, just by where you go. And then I'll just travel with some essential amino acids and ketones, and that's how I do it.